My balls. Suck my balls.
How would you children like to suck on my chocolate salty balls?
Oh, you mean like a chocolate candy?
No, I mean my balls.
Ladies and the gentlemen, in all forms of life, welcome back to another edition
Suck my balls.
of SMB,
Suck my balls.
a South
my
Park
balls.
review.
Suck my balls.
We're back
Suck my balls.
for episode
Suck my balls.
number 160.
Suck my balls. Suck my
Nine.
balls.
9. Nice.
Suck my balls.
Nice.
Suck my
169.
Suck my balls.
Sucka, one more time. We're back for another South Park review, as this is going to be a fun, freaking fantastic review. It's just me and Joe here, though, today. He is the Doctor of Thugonomics, Punkonomics, Scoobonomics, Polyphonics, the 2022 Red Rocks Day 1 Trivia South Park Champion. He is affectionately known as a Trivia God. Joe Arnola, how you doing, Joe?
Doing okay. All things considered. I mean, you guys all know the news off air and stuff, so
Yeah, exactly.
I have a very busy 1 month.
That is exactly what you have to do. Take care of business. You gotta take care of the business.
It's business.
We'll see if
business.
one of our third co-hosts here shows up. Unfortunately, right now, the man who likes to solicit the pics to get your clicks is, I guess he had something, like a doctor visit or something. He has to wear like an eye patch or something right now. I don't know. We were gonna sing him the Somalian pirate song, but he's not here. So
He's got an eye patch.
So just think about the Somalian pirate song in your head. Shout out to Dane Becker. Go ahead and check out derbycitywrestling.tv. Go get the tickets. Go be part of the history stuff. Yeah, Dane Becker. And yeah, let's move on. Guitar Hero, 13th episode, right, Joe, of season 11?
Yes, it is the 13th episode of season 11, 166th overall. First aired November 7, 2007. Stan and Kyle, much like many people in 2007, are hooked on Guitar Hero. Unfortunately, Stan's a little better than Kyle, and that begins to fracture their relationship.
I gotta say, before we get started on this episode of South Park, in 2007 through 2009, it was at that point in time I was learning actually how to play the guitar and the piano. And I was going through this with one of my close best friends, Rome, I'm actually seeing today. He's been on the podcast. Last time he was on was for the Chim Pokemon episode. And at that point, we were learning how to play music, but we knew people that were into this game, Guitar Hero. And everybody would always say to us, hey, you guys want to play Guitar Hero? Like, I bet you guys will, like, be really good at it, right? Because you guys are, like, playing guitar. And we would just be like, well, no, we don't practice playing this video game. Like, we're actually trying to play the instrument. And then you'd go over to people's houses and they'd pull out Guitar Hero. And it would kind of be like how you're going to talk about the opening scene here. People would be gathered around watching people play Guitar Hero. And then like somebody who could actually play the song would bust out a guitar and no one would really care. So it's just funny. And that's even to this day, like if I brought a guitar to a party, I could play guitar in the background. There may be some people that would maybe pay attention. But if I put Guitar Hero or something crazy like that on a TV, all of a sudden everybody would be like, oh, what's going on over here? So it's just a very interesting, I guess, take that South Park makes here in regards.
Oh, man, I remember Guitar Hero.
And then eventually I did play Guitar Hero and I got pretty decent at it, right? Just because I'm a video gamer. I tried Rocksmith for a little bit, but I didn't have an electric guitar at the time. I only had an electric bass. So like I couldn't really play Rocksmith, and I think I ended up selling it. Now it's huge, right? I mean, they just continue to make updates to it year after year after year, and it's like one of the biggest like tools you can use to like learn actually how to play guitar.
Yeah, Fender got into it.
But I digress. I just want to say before we got into it that I felt like Randy here in this opening scene where you want to show people that you can actually play the song, but no one gives a shit. Go ahead.
Which, as MSG was saying, We open up with Stan and Kyle at Stan's house. You can hear Carry On My Wayward Son by, I believe, Kansas playing in the background, and it shows that Stan and Kyle are playing Guitar Hero. This leads Randy to, well, what are they doing? Oh, they're playing that newfangled game. If they had put as much time into the real instrument as they do that game, who knows what they can do. And at that point, Randy pulls out his old amp and electric guitar and begins playing Carry On Wayward Son, to which his son and his friends largely ignore and shun him and telling him that he's behind the times. They don't give a shit.
Playing guitar is for old people. Sir, can we go back to watching Stan and Kyle play Guitar Hero now, please?
You're right.
I'm sorry, that was Craig who says that. Sure, can we go back to watching Stan and Kyle play Guitar Hero now, sir? Yeah, they didn't give a shit. So let's show that scene here. And when I first saw this episode, when it first came out back in the day, this is where I started to like Randy. I think this is the point in the show of seasons where I really started to like Randy, because I was like, I started to like, oh, I can identify with this character. All right, so as you mentioned here, we can't play all of it because there's music in the background. Kansas Carry On Wayward Son. But they're playing here. And they're racking up a lot of points. You also talked and spoke about the fact that Randy discovers what's going on. So Randy then goes to Sharon and asks her, hey, what are the boys doing out there? She explains to him, hey, it's a video game. So Randy then goes and gets his own guitar, and he decides to play the songs himself, thinking he could be cool to them.
Once I rose above the noise and confusion.
He's got such a determined, angry look on his face, too.
I was soaring
ever high, yo.
But I flew too high. Though my eyes
Dad! What are you doing?
I can actually play a lot of these songs on a real guitar. You want me to teach you boys how?
Just Carvin here.
That's gay, Mr. Marsh. Yeah, that's stupid, Dad.
But this is real.
Real guitars are for old people. Do you mind, sir? We want to watch Dad and Kyle play.
And then Randy here just puts the guitar down, and he sulks away.
All right, let's try to score 60,000 points this time.
Goodness gracious. Yes, unfortunately for Randy, the kids don't care, Joe. They don't want to be real music.
No, they really don't. They just want to get that 60,000 points, as we heard. Right. Later that night, though, Randy does what Randy does. He tries to play Guitar Hero himself, basically trying to bond with the kids, or like some people would think, oh, I'm good at guitar, I'll be good at this game. But finds out that he is really bad, causing the meter to go to 0, which causes the video game crowd to boo you if you've ever played the game before, and he gets the game over, you suck, to flash up on the screen, at which point he decides he's going to give up.
It's interesting because I could feel again here for Randy too. Like, I think, remember the first couple times I tried to play it, thinking to myself I knew how to play guitar, that I should be able to play this game with no problem. I would think I would have no problem, that I should have the skills necessary to move my fingers, touch the 5 buttons, and use my right hand to strum another button like I would on a guitar. However, it's not. You actually have to figure out the stupid eye-hand coordination, how the game lines up, how the buttons line up with the rhythm. And then after you've gotten your first 4, then all of a sudden, now you gotta, once you bump it up to hard, now they're mixing in the extra buttons, and then you get the extra 2 buttons, and then it gets crazier.
Yeah.
That being said, I tried it, and I would be like, I think the most I would ever go up to is like hard. I wasn't going up to like expert. Like, I was like, no, I don't need to play. I don't really care that much, to be quite honest. It's just a video game to me. If I really want to actually play this song, I'm going to go play this song. And most of the time, I played it for people, like girls in private. They liked it. I'd play songs. Hand drop for music, Joe. But tell us what happens the next time the boys play. Doesn't Randy get a little drunk?
Well, at this point, everyone is at Stan's house again. They just broke 100,000 points. Randy, a little drunk, a little jealous, tells them it's just a stupid plastic controller. But at this point,
you're not going to become superstar.
And literally, as he tells them that they are not going to become superstars, they become superstars when a talent agent knocks on the door, congratulates them, and is impressed by scoring 100,000 points, asks them if they want to reach 1 million.
I think you got what it takes to reach 1 million.
And that he will be their manager and will take them to recording studios and industries and stuff like that. So at one point, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so let's get this out of the way right away. This whole thing is a parody of the fucking movie The Wonders, okay? With Tom Hanks.
Oh yeah, and that thing you do.
That thing you do. Oh yeah. Doing that thing you do, breaking my heart into 1 million pieces.
Everybody's gonna think your name is Theo Neaters.
And I try. Okay, I love that movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Doing that thing you do. One of Tom Hanks's few movies that I do like.
Oh, you don't like Philadelphia?
Oh, you know, I can't like.
Are you positive you don't like Philadelphia?
I'm gonna be honest. Remember how I told you a couple episodes ago when we recorded? Sometimes I told this to Dane too. Sometimes if I watch something on TV, like a television show, and then someone makes fun of it, I can't see it. So unfortunately, I saw Philadelphia after I saw Family Guy make fun of it. You already knew where I was going with Tom Hanks. Love this guy. Everything he says is funny. I have AIDS. So after that, I think I watched it with someone. And as soon as he said I have AIDS, I just started busting out laughing and I couldn't finish the movie. They're like, this is really serious and very immature of you to laugh about this. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but...
We should really hold this conversation off for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Because that's when tonsil trouble comes up. But the talent agent brings him to his boss, and the boss hears them playing Carry On Wayward Son again. That's these boys playing? No, that's Kansas, but these boys scored 100,000 points. That's pretty fucking impressive.
Actually, the line is, because I use this all the time, that's pretty goddamn impressive.
Oh yeah, goddamn.
I say that like, that's pretty goddamn impressive.
And he immediately signs them to a 1-year contract and invites them to his mansion party later that evening, calling both of them his new artists.
All right, let's show a little bit of the clips there to the audience here. In regards,
pretty goddamn impressive.
Pretty goddamn impressive, if I say so myself.
Randy playing in his underwear.
They're gonna do it! Come on, guys, 100,000 points! Carmen, shut up, we're concentrating!
All right, I gotta turn it down here because I don't want to get hit for copyright. So then here is, as you mentioned, you get 100,000 points. The kids are freaking out. Woohoo! Okay, here's now. First message.
You are rockstars!
You are rockstars!
You're total rock stars now!
You're not rockstars!
No, you're not!
It's just a stupid plastic controller!
Hang on.
This guy just shuts up!
Stan Marsh?
Yeah?
I'm Charles Kincaid from the Kincaid Talent Agency. I heard you just broke 100,000 points on Guitar Hero.
Yeah, we did!
Well, I'm impressed, and I'd like to be your manager.
I'm impressed.
Wow, really? Dude, Kyle, this guy wants to be our manager!
No way!
For reals?
Scoring.
Oh my god. Okay, so yes, here we'll jump into the Charles Kincaid, with the promoted.
Kansas. But these boys scored 100,000 points to it on expert level in co-op mode. That's pretty goddamn impressive. All right, we'll sign them to a 1-year deal. Yes, you did it, boys. Listen, boys, I'm having a huge celebrity party at my giant mansion tonight. Why don't you come by as my honorary new artists?
Cool!
So there you go. There's
He sounds like Lorne Michaels.
Oh, the guy who plays the voice of the head.
No. Lorne Michaels, the executive producer, creator of SNL.
I understand.
Okay.
I thought you were saying which.
Oh, yeah. The manager. The
managers.
Yeah,
Charles
that's pretty
Kincaid,
goddamn. No, his boss.
Goddamn impressive.
Impressive, yeah. So the boys get to the mansion party of the man who I will call Lorne Michaels the rest of this episode. And there's a big number of Denver celebrities, including the Channel 4 weatherman Ron Zappolo.
Still there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he's still there. Jake Jabs, who I have no idea who that is.
Who was the furniture warehouse? I don't know if he's still there. I never saw his furniture sales commercials.
Yeah, because it had him with the tiger and shit, so I'm assuming it was some kind of furniture dude.
Because
Jake,
I can tell you, working as a master control operator in Denver and running local commercials, I never saw a mattress commercial with a tiger. So go ahead.
Yeah, neither have I. And Jay Cutler, who was the quarterback.
My dad says that you could be good someday.
You kind of suck, but my dad says you could be good someday.
Stan.
And then a man who is a celebrity beyond Denver. He is our friend in the diamond business.
Shaneco.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Shane.
Shaneco and Shaneco.com. Shaneco. The diamond.
1 mile south of Bell.
Dude, he's fucking everywhere.
On Tacoma, 1 mile south of Bell. Look for us in.
That's why me and my team of staff, we travel to the ancient parts of the world. Exclusive diamonds that no one else has. Shaneco and ShanecoCompany.com.
I've got his commercials and then no in my head at the same time now. It's a beautiful smorgasbord.
I'm not gonna be in your talent show.
So everyone at the party hears what these boys are gonna do and that they're gonna be the first ones to break 1 million points, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's really fucking cool." That maybe not verbatim, but they're all thoroughly impressed,
moderately.
Yeah, moderately. And Kyle and Stan both start thinking that everything amazing will be happening to them and like their shitty life is over.
The best part about all this, before we continue, because I just want to make note of it, is everybody else, as far as all the other fourth graders, their friends, feel like that this is all part of the game. Like they look at all of these aspects as far as what everything is going on. It's like, wow, this is an amazing game.
Oh, yeah, I was going to save that till the end of the plot, just like they do in the episode, because that's the best joke of all.
Well, I feel like, Craig kind of figures it out a little bit halfway through. When I think he figures it out later on as far as when they're practicing. But yeah, you're right. All the boys feel like this is a game. But I'm not going to kill the joke. I'll let you do the joke in the end when they get to it.
Right.
So I'll show a little bit of the clip here as you were talking here in regards to the party. With all of the famous people and them, the boys feeling like, oh my god, we finally made it. We're gonna be famous because, we got invited to all these parties and there's like people doing cocaine and sipping.
For news.
There's plenty of cocaine inside.
Jake Jabs guy from American Furniture Warehouse commercials.
I don't know.
Everyone.
American Furniture Warehouse. Like I've seen American Furniture Warehouse, but I've not seen a guy with a tiger in him.
I've seen the tiger on their trucks.
Really? Maybe back in the day they had a tiger, or maybe they had to get rid of it, maybe or died. I don't know. It's been over 15 years.
Serious?
Right. There's a lot more Coconuts in the house.
Here's Jay Cutler.
Wow, really? Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you. I mean, you kind of suck, but my dad says you might be good someday.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Alex, have you seen my wife anywhere?
And then, as you mentioned, there he is, the legend himself, depicted in all his glory. He wasn't made fun of in any way because South Park creators have the same respect for everybody else everybody in the world, ladies and gentlemen.
You boys know
Tom
Tom
Shane.
Shane from the Shane Company Diamond Store commercials?
Dewey, he's a legend.
The legend. Kyle fucking
He is.
legend. He's a fucking...
He's our friend in the diamond business.
Our friend in the diamond business. He's monopolized the diamond business in the United States.
Yes. So
Go down that rabbit hole if you think I'm fucking around on YouTube, people.
no, he really has. Like
Go
it's
down the
like
rabbit
him
hole.
and Jared.
Yeah. We've got exclusive mining. Okay, I don't want to go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Go down that fucking rabbit hole. There should be a behind the bastards on that man. But he's a legend.
It's a legend.
So the next day, the boys are practicing and playing Cherry Pie by Warrant. And
By the way,
Kincaid does.
that is actually a pretty tough song to play.
Yeah,
on Guitar
it's
Hero.
and
It's a
the
tough song to
guitar
play
in general.
But yeah,
Yeah.
on Guitar Hero, they make it too ridiculous. Go ahead.
Yeah, and during the practice session, Kincaid is a little perturbed by something, and after they finish up Cherry Pie, Charles tells Kyle, "Hey, there's a controller outside that might work better for you," and sends Kyle with a giant ass assistant to find the controller. While Kyle is gone, Charles tells Stan that he's better off working with different players and that Kyle's dragging him down. And Stan agrees, realizing that he doesn't want to see his dream of breaking 1,000,000 points go down the drain. So, but the problem is they went halvesies on the game because this game at the time was not your typical $59.99 game. I think it was like $100 because you had to pay for the peripheral as well, at least the first go round.
And of course, this was a plot point taken right from the movie That Thing You Do, but just in a different way. As in the movie That Thing You Do, the original drummer of the band, the O'Neaters, he gets injured, so the replacement character steps in and he takes over drumming.
Yes, and
so this went an opposite in reverse. In this case, right? He's saying get rid of him because you can get a better player.
Yeah. And so Stan does get rid of Kyle, and it severely fractures their friendship for possibly the first time.
Sup?
And oh yeah, so now that leads to going to the cafe where Charles introduces Stan to basically the Guitar Hero equivalent of a studio musician. Thad Jarvis, who's an expert on Guitar Hero.
Stop.
And is able to play Jordan by Buckethead and John the Fisherman on expert level by memory acoustically. He's pretty goddamn good. And this is what leads to Kyle finding out about everything, because Kyle walks in while Stan is practicing with Tad and asks what's going on. This leads to an argument between Stan and Kyle, with Stan telling him that they wouldn't break 1,000,000 points, that he wasn't going to break 1,000,000 points with Kyle. And Kyle gets a little upset, saying he didn't know it was just about the 1,000,000 points, and walks out. And Tad and Stan go back to practice.
Weirdly, I always thought it was weird that maybe they had plans for a deleted scene or another scene. I always just thought it was interesting that Charles Kincaid's assistant, escorts Kyle out, and I always wondered what the hell happened when Kyle went outside with that guy, and why did it take him so long to come back? You know what I mean? Like, where did he go?
The guy probably had the keys to the car or whatever. He'd say, "Oh, I thought it was in this trunk. Maybe it's back at the office. Let's go."
Okay, interesting. That's a good point.
Some dumb shit like that.
I know, but I would have liked an explanation, Joe.
Right. Yeah. Oh, no, same here.
That's just me. All right, let's show a little bit of that clip since you were talking about that. If you're watching the video, you may have noticed I took down my hair because I was trying to, I'm looking like that Jarvis now. What's up?
Yes. Sup?
I got
Quit.
I quit.
We'll get to that in a second. Shit. So
All right.
good.
All right, nice rehearsal, boys.
Dude, I totally missed that middle part. Did you see that? Yeah, dude, that's almost impossible.
That was real cool, kids.
Hey, Kyle, there's a different controller in my car that might work better for you. Why don't you go with Jim and he'll help you find it?
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, smooth, Kyle. Shouldn't have done that.
You've got real potential, kid.
Like, why don't you
I
go
have
get
no
your
doubt
sister
you can
to
break
get
a
it for
million.
me? How about that?
Really? That'd be sweet.
I think you
I'm the
could.
star, bitch.
But, as for your friend, well, to be honest, I think he's holding you back.
Naive ass
Wait,
Kyle.
you mean Kyle?
Look, you score a lot higher than him. There's no question who the better one is. I want to put you with some other players. Find a partner for you who can really help you max your score.
But Kyle and I always play together. We both chipped in for the game system.
It's very honorable. But you know where loyalty gets you in a game like Guitar Hero? Nowheres. Just listen to that video crowd.
That video crowd, Joe.
I haven't heard a video crowd go that wild in a long time.
Man.
You've got a chance to score 1,000,000 points, and I'd hate to see you throw it away because you're worried about your friend's feelings.
So you're talking about here's them at the cafe now?
You're gonna love
That,
this
right?
kid, Stan. He's one of the best Guitar Hero players I've ever seen, except for you, of course. Ah, Thad!
I love the
Stan Marsh, this
turtleneck
is
and
Thad
just like the
Jarvis.
whole 70s vibe.
What's up?
Thad here has backed up a lot of really great Guitar Hero players. Isn't that right, Thad?
Yeah.
Yup.
He doesn't even need a game system to play on. He can play Guitar Hero
This
acoustically.
is so
Yeah, but
stupid.
can he play Buckethead on expert level?
Go ahead, Thad.
Go ahead, Dad.
Check this out.
He just starts playing on a plastic piece of controller in the middle of the restaurant. Just pressing buttons. He's got it memorized, probably.
Pretty damn
Yeah.
good, huh?
But
Yeah,
still,
that's pretty good. But can you play John the Fisherman?
this is crazy, though. I like how South Park takes this even further by the members of the restaurant here acting like that they can hear it, apparently, too.
Stan, with this kid backing you, you're gonna make Guitar Hero history. Oh, I love
Yeah.
this song.
Love this song. Stupid. Stupid.
Whites.
Whites. Lots of white peoples.
So,
You mentioned
as I said, this leads to them practicing together, and that's when Kyle finds everything out. Stan explains to him that I wasn't going to get to 1,000,000 points with you holding me back. Kyle's saying I didn't know it was just about the points, at which point he leaves. Stan and Tad go back to practicing, but Stan is a little bummed out by this. He goes back to the EV games where he bought Guitar Hero and tries to find some game guides to help him play a little better. But the shop assistant, like any pusher, tells him that he should try something else to relieve his stress. A game that has no score or time limit and only makes you chase a pink dragon, even though you'll never catch it. Of course, I'm talking about Heroin Hero.
Hero. Yeah, of course. Why? What else would you be talking about?
So, Stan gives the game a try and finds it to be fucking awesome.
So before we get to Heroin Hero, I do want to show here what happens when Kyle walks out, because Cartman is just so giddy about the fact that Kyle and Stan are arguing. Oh my god, this is so amazing.
Right? He is super stoked on it. I forgot.
Hey, dude, how's it? Kyle. I thought you were sick.
Butters.
Who is this? This is, Thad Jarvis. Sup?
Yeah.
What's going on, Stan? Kyle, I was gonna tell you later. Mr. Kincaid thinks I should play with Thad for a while. But it's our game. We bought it together. I know, and I want to be fair about it, so I'll buy you out of your part. Buy me out? What are you saying? What makes you so high and mighty you can buy me out? Don't put this all on me, Kyle. Oh my god, this is so awesome. You were the one that's been blowing off playing after midnight, not playing because you were sick. I have been sick! Look, the point is, I'm never gonna break 1,000,000 points playing with you. You know that's true. I guess I didn't realize it was just about the points. Dude, this game rules.
See, this game rules. I think it's a game.
Yeah.
I still think it's part of
Yeah. Dude, this game rules.
If that's really how video games worked, man, that would have been amazing. That would have been amazing. Continue on. You mentioned that Stan went to the game store, so I will show a little bit of that as the guy at GameStop parody that I think they called it EV Games or E3 Games.
Yeah, which was an electronics boutique parody. Yeah.
Right.
Hey, you're the kid I sold the Guitar Hero game to. How are you liking it?
It's okay, I guess. But I need some game guides for it. My manager and producer set up this live thing at the video arcade where I'm supposed to break 1 million in front of everybody, and I'm stressing out.
Yeah, Guitar Hero can be pretty stressful. But you know, maybe instead of a game guide, you should just buy another game to kind of ease the stress.
Huh?
Have you ever heard of Heroin Hero?
Heroin Hero?
It's a way easier game. All you do is run around a magical forest and shoot simulated heroin. You could call it the ultimate first-person shooter.
That's a great
And there's no score? No crowds?
Right.
No, man. All you do is run through the pretty forest and chase a big dragon. But you don't ever catch the dragon. You just keep chasing it.
Which is a great metaphor for heroin.
Yeah.
Not that I've ever tried it, but anybody who's ever experienced or done heroin says, you know, you're always trying to chase this high, right?
Yeah.
You'll never get the same high as you got your first time, which is, I'm glad I never tried that, because with weed, sometimes you don't get the same high. Sometimes you get even higher.
Right?
Or sometimes you get a completely different type of like high. You get a relaxed high, or you get like a, I'm going to clean some shit high, or, you know, you get motivated high, or sometimes you get lazy high. You know?
Right?
All types of high. Yes,
And so, after Stan's first foray into the evils of heroin hero addiction, he shows up to practice at the video arcade, where he and Thad are practicing I Want to Be Sedated by the Ramones. Stan begins missing a lot of notes, to which Thad questions if he's been practicing. Stan insists he did, and then stops and insists that they play Surrender by Cheap Trick instead. Thad replies that he hates that song and would not play it.
I don't like playing that bubblegum stuff.
And Stan yells that he's in charge, after which Thad tells him, I quit. I quit. I quit. I quit.
I quit.
And at that point, Thad walks out. Charles Kincaid then finds the heroin hero in Stan's bag and lectures Stan about to stop playing it, and how he needs to pull his act together and break the 1 million points to unlock superstardom by himself.
He finds the heroin hero like it's real drugs. What is
yeah. Like he finds actual heroin. Oh God. Like he found the bag of smack.
What is this, Dan?
You know you never catch it, right?
You never catch it, right?
No, you know what? Screw this. I'm not playing this song. Why did you pick this stupid song?
Stan, it's the song we all agreed you would play.
Yeah, well, I changed my mind. We're changing the song to Cheap Trick. No way, I hate that bubblegum crap. Yeah, well, you're not the leader, are you, Thad? We play the music I want to play.
Stan, why are you so grumpy grouchy?
We're playing what I want, now select a different song. Yeah? Well, how about this one? I quit. 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 You know what? That's great with me, Thad, because I don't need you to break 1 million points. I never did.
Stan, what is the matter with you?
I just want to play alone, all right? I can't concentrate with all these assholes writing me all the time.
What is this?
Man.
Are you playing Heroin Hero?
Just a little.
No. Nobody plays Heroin Hero a little. You know, you never catch the dragon.
I know, but it mellows me out, okay?
You better pull your act together, because
you never catch the dragon.
Dragon. I know, it just mellows me out, okay? So after that,
give us an update on what's going on with Kyle.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to tell you what's going on with Kyle. Kyle is at the bowling alley playing Every Rose Has Its Thorn. On his own on the bowling alley's Guitar Hero.
It's a great song to play. It's an easy song.
It is. It reminds me of the John Mayer sketch from Chappelle Show. Right. And so Kyle plays it basically all day, every day on the Guitar Hero in the bowling alley. And he stops playing after he's asked why he's not playing with his game on his console anymore. And Mick, the barman, the bar owner at the bowling alley, offers Kyle a job playing Guitar Hero on the weekends just to try to cheer Kyle up.
I'm not a charity case, Mick. Hey, don't think of it as charity. Think of it as giving a kid a break when he's down on his luck.
On his luck.
Thanks, Mick.
Yeah, you know, because that's totally different than being a charity case.
Thanks, Mick. I like the Mick character here. Go on. Get out of here. We have Guitar Hero. I don't want to play all the copyright here as Kyle continues to play. Right. But as you mentioned, two boys came up to him, and they're like, hey, come on, let us play, kid. You've been playing all day. And he's like, I'm not done. He's like, hey, aren't you Kyle Broflowski? He's like, no, I think you got me mixed up. He's like, no, you're Kyle Broflowski. Didn't you used to have your own guitar here at home? Didn't you used to break 100,000 points? And it's at that point Kyle finally goes, fine, here, you can play. And he gets up.
Can I get a Fresca, please?
You're good at that game, kid.
Good.
Too good to be playing it in a dump like this.
All right. There might be some copyright still with the music in the background, so I don't want to test it. But you go ahead and continue on. He gets to work there for free now, but obviously his friend is still having some problems, yeah?
Yes. Stan is still trapped in the throes of addiction. It is now...
Gosh, was just a regular boy. He had it all. Fame, fortune, and he did until he started playing.
And then he got Heroin Hero.
Exactly.
And so Stan finds himself in a full-blown addiction. And Charles finds him 10 minutes before he is due on stage at the arcade to break 1 million points. And Charles drags him to Stan to the arcade, where everyone comes around to see him play, pretty vacant by the Sex Pistols. But due to not having Kyle and his quote-unquote heroin addiction, the video game crowd jeers him as he falls asleep, in which case, afterwards, the real crowd begins leaving him as well.
Just the best part, though, of this next scene is the manager. Listen to that video crowd! They're booing you! You had it all!
It's just like so many episodes of Behind the Music where like one of the members just like has a totally bad performance because they're way too fucking high.
That's true. They did parody that here as well. So we'll jump to there. Here's where Stan, is laying on the couch, as you mentioned, and Kincaid comes in.
He's got the foaming drool out of his mouth.
Marsh, Stan, you got... Oh, my God. Get up, Stan, wake up.
What?
You're going on in 10 minutes. Everybody's coming to see you.
The dragon, where did it go?
You gotta pull it together.
Just slaps the shit out of him.
Gamecraft
Thank
Arcade.
you for coming to Gamecraft Arcade to watch Stan Marsh break 1 million points and unlock superstardom.
Yeah! Go, Stan! All right, Stan, you got it, man! Yeah, Stan! Dude, what's the matter with him? He's been up for 3 days straight playing Heroin Hero.
Butters somehow knows.
You got it?
Butters knows. down a little bit just because, again, there is some copyright music. Even with Stan messing up, there's still copyright music in the mountain. And Craig, of course, there says, "Oh man, I can't watch this. I can't look." So as you mentioned, everyone starts to leave. And the manager yells out, "They're booing you." And then even Cartman, "Come on, guys.
Guys, let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here." Even he feels bad. All right, this should be
Next time you bring me some
Next time you bring me some talent, make sure they're talented. Talented. All right, here we go. The music,
And then he throws up all over the stage.
the music should be over now. Copyright
They
here.
hate you.
Here's the video crowd booing him. And Stan's all high, so he sees them all like slow motion and shit like that.
Like, yeah, deep groaning. So now Stan goes back to EV Games, explaining that he needs to get off his heroin hero habit.
Come on.
And at which point he is offered Rehab Hero, but Stan's like, "No, dude, I just want a driving game." In which case he buys cross-country cruiser or a cross-country cruiser, excuse me, and a wheel and gear shift set. This dude has fucking video game money out the ass.
Yeah, I know. Where is Stan getting all this video game money?
Like, that wheel itself is probably a good $200, especially with the gear shift and shit. And this leads to...
And this is 2007, so that stuff was like newer. It was expensive.
Yeah.
There wasn't no Chinese company from Alibaba website we could get access to at that point.
Right. And so while Stan is playing a racing game, he has his radio turned on while he's driving. And Carry On My Wayward Son by Kansas plays once again. And the radio DJs reminisce, "There were two local boys who scored 100,000 to it. I guess they're just not playing."
I wonder
the
whatever
game
happened to those boys anymore, right? I guess they're just
not
playing
playing the game anymore.
And
at that point,
they licensed the shit out of Kansas for this episode, you know?
Yeah, they really did, because Stan is driving through playing cross-country cruiser while having a montage to Carry Wayward Son.
When
And
I rose above the noise and confusion.
confusion.
Yeah.
And like it's Stan shifting gears. It's very Rocky 4-esque in that regard.
It's true. It's true. It was kind of a Rocky 4 montage, like Rocky. There's no easy way out. There's no lost control. He's driving.
Except instead of visions of Apollo getting punched by Drago, Stan is remembering the good times with Kyle. At which point he decides to hit the brakes, throw the car in reverse, and drive out of the game. I'm assuming, or he literally throws his car in reverse. That's the best part of this, and looks over his shoulder as if to be actually backing up. And right. I'm assuming to turn around and head in another direction like you would in a montage.
So let's
Even
show.
Rocky.
I'll show. No, you're fine. I was gonna say I was gonna show a little bit of the video portion. I can't. Obviously, we can't show the music.
Yeah.
Playing Carry On Wayward Son to this here, and then as you mentioned, Stan is like sitting there looking. He gets a moment of sincerity where he has a moment of reflection, and he starts thinking about his life. And his car's just sitting there as the time scrolls on. Then yeah, he hits it in reverse, and he backs up. Even though nobody is actually there. I wanted to pause it though before we begin because look, I always thought that was funny, just how they spell Kyle Broflowski.
With an I instead of a Y.
Kyle Broflowski.
Yeah, yeah, no V, nothing like that.
Kyle.
Broflowski.
All right, so tell us what happens now at the bowling alley.
So Kyle is performing as part of his weekend residency, playing I Remember You. And at that point, Stan is trying to talk to Kyle. He's like, "Hey, man, I heard you. You're getting really good at this." Oh, that's so cool. The great Stan thinks I'm getting better. And Stan admits that he did Kyle wrong and that Stan needs Kyle to break 1,000,000 points and not the other way around. And at that point, Mick tells Kyle that he should be playing with Stan.
Come on, get out of here.
Get out of here.
You said-
I don't need you making all this racket anyway.
Get out of here. So he goes home, and what happens when he gets home before we go to the clip, just because it's funny?
They go home trying to break the 1,000,000
Wait,
points.
no. What happens when he runs in the
Only,
door?
yes, yeah,
Oh, okay.
only to find that Randy has gotten into his stash and is laid out on the couch playing Heroin Hero.
Okay.
At which point Stan turns the game off and tells him, "You'll never get the dragon." Randy just goes absolutely apeshit.
I am your father.
I am your father.
All right. I do.
Turn it back on.
Mom,
Dad won't let me.
go ahead.
Mom, Dad won't let me use the or whatever. But
Right.
yeah, and so Stan gets Sharon to get Randy out of the house room.
All right, here's Dad.
All right, dude, let's do this. What the hell?
Oh.
Oh,
Come on.
the s'mores schnapps.
Catch me. Come on. Oh, God damn it. Dad,
Almost
get off
got
our
me.
Xbox.
Hang on, I almost caught the dragon.
You almost got me. No, me and Kyle are going to play Guitar Hero.
I can get him. Wait, where's he going now?
You don't ever catch the dragon, Dad.
No! No, I said, I am your father. Put it back on.
Father,
Mom, you get Dad out of here.
I am your father. Put it back on.
Right.
And so they fired up the Xbox as they said it was, even though it looked like a PlayStation. They fire it up at what
It
and
looked like a
Butters.
PlayStation 2.
Yeah, it
A
did.
white version, yeah.
Right. And so Butters somehow finds out what the boys are up to, runs down to the basketball court to tell, "Hey, fellas, Stan and Kyle are about to break 1,000,000 points." And at which point, everyone rushes into Stan's house as they're finishing up. I can't remember the name of the song, but I know it's Wolf Mother.
God
And-
damn it, Craig, you black asshole. And they're playing
And-
basketball.
Right.
Cheated.
They're gonna do it. And they reach the 1,000,000 points right as the song ends, and the game tells them, "You have scored 1,000,000 points. You are a bundle of sticks."
You are. It's basically.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say.
It's fine. We said it. Dane gave us the okay. You might not have been here for that episode. I think it was just me. But we asked him permission. Can we say it in the form of South Park? And he's like, guys, gay community, I dubbed that it's okay that they could say it in the form of South Park on the episode. Dane has given us permission. We are allowed
So Garrison's wrong. I can sing that song without being censored.
You will be censored in, real life. But on this podcast, as long as I think we're talking about it in the form of South Park, I think it's okay.
Hey there, shitty.
Well, it's fine.
No. Yeah.
But then, but this part was funny. It's hysterical. But go ahead.
It tells them that they're lame for practicing the game so much to get to 1,000,000 points, which if you've ever played Guitar Hero, 1,000,000 points is fucking easy.
Yeah.
But at which point the boys, Stan and Kyle, are just like, "Oh, well, fuck this." They decide that they're going to go do something else. Butters and Cartman then call dibs next, with Butters saying that he wants to be the one to betray Cartman after the sex and drugs party, to which Cartman agrees while the end credits roll.
Right. It made me laugh. This part of the episode, I remember watching this episode when it first aired, but this was, as we talked about at the top of the show, in 2007. So I was up late at night and I just started dying from laughter. I thought this episode was so funny, especially with the resolve of the Guitar Hero stuff being the fact that I played music, and in the end they got these kids. So I really enjoyed it. So yeah, let's go to that final scene here, as you mentioned, with Butters running up to tell him, hey, fellas!
Stop cheating, Craig! How was that cheating? Because you tricked me, you black asshole!
Right in front of Tolkien.
They're gonna do it!
Go Fox.
What? Stan and Kyle, they're about to break 1 million on Guitar Hero and unlock superstardom! Let's go! Let's go! Come on!
You tricked me, you black ass. Here they are about to hit.
They're
1
gonna
million
do
points.
it.
Do it! They did it! Oh my sweet Jesus!
You have played Guitar Hero enough to reach 1 million points. Congratulations! You are bags.
The look on their face.
I love how like even the avatars are like, "Aw."
You're right. I never caught that. That's good.
God damn it.
God damn it.
Butters, you want to play me next? Okay, but I get to be the one that betrays you after the sex and drugs party.
Yo, so this shows that Kyle's left-handed.
Oh, that's a good point.
This episode.
He's left-handed. That's true.
Yeah. It just dawned on me. So yeah, that does it for the plot of Guitar Hero. We'll be back on the other side of this break from our sponsors.
Subscribe to Suck My Balls, a South Park review on Spotify, Apple's, iTunes, anywhere you want to download a podcast. Just type that in, subscribe to our feed, and you'll get the latest, greatest episode each and every week. You can also listen to us on YouTube and go back and watch some videos or any of our library. It's all there. Suck My Balls, South Park review.
Shout out to you if you are checking us out and hitting any of those sponsors on Spreaker. And now, he's not quite a trivia god.
Suck my balls. Suck my balls. Suck my balls.
This is Suck My Balls.
Suck my balls.
SMB, a South Park podcast where we review every podcast, every episode of South Park in linear fashion. I am not your host in the heat where the air is sweet, or the guy who's high where the air is dry. I'm the high host who just drove this into a fucking ditch.
That was the greatest comeback from a sponsor break. Welcome back thank you for a word from our sponsors there from Spreaker and Joe Fernola, who's a great pitch man there.
I tried.
You did. It was fantastic. Well, as Joe mentioned, I, of course, am not the 2022 Red Rocks Day 1 South Park Trivia Champion. That is your trivia god there, Joe Fernola. I am also a man who does not solicit picks to get your clicks. I am not Dane Becker, which you can check out at WCWWrestling.tv for tickets. I'm your host in the heat when I can't be beat. I'm your guy who's high where the air is so dry. Ya boy! NSG. You can follow us as a podcast by going to South Park Pod on all outlets, South Park Pods on Twitter, and South Park Podcast on Instagram. Linktr.ee/SouthParkPod. Hit that like and subscribe button if you're liking what you're hearing, you're seeing, what you want to get some more of. As Joe mentioned, we review this podcast in linear fashion. And now, we're going to get into some trivia.
Yes.
Not much here, which is why Joe took it off. You know, he's like, whatever.
And I was going to say, he is not a trivia god, but he is my apprentice in triviadom. He's a trivia demigod.
Oh, that's nice of you.
He's the Hercules to my Zeus.
Oh, that's nice. Well, I do have long hair.
Take it away, MSJ.
So here's your couple bits of trivia before we get into the buttload of pop culture references.
Oh, yeah.
So here's trivia. Some of the games in the arcade that they were in, they included Thirst for Blood, Smackman, Fist Fighter, Farmer's Market, and Gang Wars. Now, Thirst for Blood, of course, has been seen before. Thirst for Blood. Oh, yeah, Thirst for Blood. When they get the Okama Game Sphere. And then we've also seen Gang Wars. I've seen Cartman play that as well. The sign at the bowling alley spells Kyle Broflowski's name as Kyle Barflowski, as we already mentioned. All right, so here is all of the pop culture. So this episode, of course, takes a big basic backstory of the rock band The Libertines, with Stan taking the place of Carl Barat / Pete Doherty, and Kyle taking John Hassal's role, and Thad being Johnny Burrell. Of course, that was also the basis of That Thing You Do. This episode's name is a pun of the video game Guitar Hero, Guitar Quero. The songs the boys play in the episode are from Guitar Hero 2, despite the fact that in the episode the game is referred to as the original Guitar Hero. The poster, though, for the game is also modeled after Guitar Hero 3, Legends of Rock. The song that starts off the boys' journey to rock fame, as we mentioned, was Carry On Wayward Son, likely allusion to More Than a Feeling by Boston, which is actually in the first Guitar Hero, that was equivalently easy on expert level, but it gave players immense satisfaction to beat and high score on early in the game.
Yeah, Activision was pretty good at that shit.
Randy demonstrated his guitar skills. The amplifier that he uses was a Vox, which is spoofing the amplifier company Vox, and or Vo, I guess it would be with an X. And then the model he uses looks similar to a popular Vox AC30. The guitar Randy used is a Gibson Les Paul. The system the boys play on looks extremely compact, light gray PS2 with the non-visible controller parts and no markings other than yellow on and off buttons. So even though they call it an Xbox, but this is also surprising, is what we did see a real Xbox in other episodes, and we also saw the model of the 2001 Okama Game Sphere, right? And we saw it in the episode where Cartman is looking to get the Nintendo Wii, and he go God go on his episodes, and he's in the gaming museum. So it is a little weird. This episode parodies the history and common movie formula of bands splitting up and reforming. The term chasing the dragon is slang for smoking heroin, referenced by the gameplay and after effects of Heroin Hero. At the bar in the bowling alley, there is a sign that spoofs Budweiser, calling it Dudweiser. The game Wolfie by Capcom at the EV Games is a parody of the Capcom game Okami. Also seen in the store are copies of Diablo 2, StarCraft, strategy guides made by Primo, a parody of Prima Games, twerps for Ben Dots referencing Bratz and the Nintendo DS respectively, an ad
so
for
it would probably be Bendo TS, right?
Nintendo TS, yeah. An ad for O-Box parodying the Xbox, and a poster and magazine cover that mentions Halo 5, which would not release until almost 8 years later.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can even say it released in full form still. We never really got a true freaking campaign. Anyway, Stan's game Cross Country Cruiser is most likely a reference to Cruisin' USA. Cruisin' USA! The manager's appearance is based on that of Robert Ridgely's character Colonel James from the 1997 film Boogie Nights. Though never released in arcade form, Custer's Revenge was a real Atari 2600 game that caused some controversy as in 1982 for its subject matter. George Armstrong Custer, a general from the Civil War, was raping a Native American woman tied to a pole. The game shown on the screen of Custer's Revenge cabinet is Breakout, and for those who don't know what the game is, I implore you to watch the Angry Video Game Nerd episode on it. However, you cannot find that on YouTube. You'll actually now have to order the DVD to get that review. For a while, AVGN had all of his seasons on Amazon, and you could go through and find some of his adult review games that obviously you can't put up on YouTube. So Custer's Revenge was one of those. Unfortunately, that is not on YouTube because of the content. It gets blocked, right, because of the nudity and stuff like that. So
Yeah, really quickly.
yeah, when Thad quits at the video game arcade, as we mentioned, he repeatedly said, I quit, I quit, I quit. That was from the Jimmy quitting the band in the movie That Thing You Do. At the game store, magazines show Optimus Prime on the cover. The song Stan and Kyle score 1 million points on is not one of the hardest songs in the real Guitar Hero 2 game. And here is a complete list of every song that was featured. Carry On My Wayward Son, Kansas, Surrender, Cheap Trick, Cherry Pie, Warrant, Jordan by Buckethead, John the Fisherman by Primus. Jesus Christ, that's a hard song to play. I Want to Be Sedated by the Ramones. Every Rose Has Its Thorn by Poison. Pretty Vacant by the Sex Pistols. I Remember You by Skid Row. And finally, Woman by Wolf Mother. Woo! All right, a lot of your pop culture. Here's a couple of things of continuity. On the counter of the EV Games is a Mitsubishi Game Sphere, an updated version of the 2001 Okama Game Sphere. The name of the console is seen on the box art for Heroin Hero as well. On the cover of ReHab Hero, Paris Hilton can be seen. That's funny. The song playing on the radio in Stan's driving game is the song You and Me Girl from Season 3 episode Spontaneous Combustion. When Randy is found playing Heroin Hero, he is shown to have been drinking s'mores beer, which is, of course, a common background element used throughout the show that references s'mores schnapps from the Red Badge of Gayness. Yours, General Carmen. All right. That's your full recap as Joe went through. I gave you your pop culture, trivia, and continuity. Joe, what did you like about this episode?
This one was really all killer, no filler. Just parodying all the rock and roll movies and stories and everything. How they were able to deftly dance around an 8-year-old having a drug addiction. They found a creative way for it that makes you laugh your ass off without even thinking, oh, this kid. It gives you all the joke of the addiction without any of the remorse, which shows how anything can be funny if handled properly. So
I would agree. This is my favorite episode of this season, of season 11. I've been looking forward to getting to Guitar Hero, just because from beginning to end, I find it to be comical. As someone who's played in a number of bands and toured as well, I can relate to this, some of the comedy, the humor. I've never been in a situation where we've had to kick out a member of our band or someone got kicked out or replaced like that, but I have seen it happen in other bands, and you know those bands, so the drama is always, get your tea. You're going to get your tea as a band member when you're in the scene, just like you get the gossip like working in any industry, right? So I felt that this episode itself definitely spoofed perfectly, and not just a lot of the comedic tropes and serious tropes that happen inside of these band movies where they break up and then reform. I also thought it was just overall a good message at the end too, right? As you've got Stan and Kyle who, show that, hey, it should be about the music and having fun, not trying to reach 1 million points. And yeah, to your point, the heroin stuff, how they did it via the Heroin Hero, that was hysterical. It was hysterical. So, anything you didn't like? There's nothing I disliked about this episode. I thought it was good from top to bottom. So,
yeah, same.
All right. Well, ladies and the gentlemen, and the forms of all life, shout out to you for checking out this podcast on another edition of SMB, a South Park Review. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button right here on YouTube. You can also hit linktr.ee/SouthParkPod if you want our landing page, or our Spotify, Apple, or Spreaker landing page, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. It's all there if you don't want to have to type in the links. Just go to linktr.ee/SouthParkPod and make it easy. Make it one spot for you. If you do have a preferred platform, go ahead and check out South Park Pod on all outlets, or South Park Pod with an S on Twitter, and podcast, South Park Podcast on Instagram. Joe, what do you got coming up the weekend of March 17th, Joe?
Friday, March 17th, that will be Reaper Independent Pro Wrestling at Grandma's House Brewery on Broadway in Denver.
Grandma's House, right?
Yeah.
That's the name of the thing.
Yes, Grandma's House Brewery. That's what I thought I said.
No, I just want to make sure so people don't think you were kidding.
Yeah. No, it literally looks like your grandma's house if you go inside.
Right. Yeah, it's a real place.
Yeah, and that will be the 17th. Sunday the 19th, Primo's Dirty or Disrespectful Young Boys Cup at the Roxy in 5 Points, Denver. You can get tickets for that at theroxydenver.com. And Saturday, March 25th is the 8th annual Alpha 9 tournament. You can get tickets for that on Eventbrite.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Joe Vernola, once again, for your time and guidance today. Shout out to Mr. Dane Becker. Go ahead and check out derbycitywrestling.tv. If you live in the Louisville, Kentucky area, you can be part of the first ever championship wrestling from Louisville, Derby City Wrestling. And you could be part of that television taping. Maybe you end up seeing yourself on TV. Guess what? I went to the Red Carpet Rumble in Mesa, saw myself on YouTube. You could be like me. Don't you want to be like me? I just went to AEW in Phoenix. Guess what? Saw myself on TV. Don't you want to be on TV? Go to derbycitywrestling.tv. If you're in Denver, like Joe says, go check out one of those events. Go check out primosprowrestling.net. Stay up to date when their next show is going to be. Get tickets. Go support wrestling. That's all I got to say about that. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for another edition of SMB, a South Park review. We will be back next week for the Season 11 finale, Joe. The Season 11 finale. We're going to find out what happens when the girls make a list of, who they think the cutest guys in the classroom are. Butters is number 11.
Number 1 in my heart.